Cameroon's government proposes special status for Anglophone regions after the dialogue held on Monday in Yaoundé. Gabonese manager Patrice Neveu delivered the list of the 23 internationals that will be challenging Burkina Faso and Morocco in the coming days. Some of the biggest names in the sports have cemented their legendary status by adding to their career gold medals at the 2019 IAAF World Athletics Championship in Doha. That's all for our top stories. Stay tuned in this newscast. Driven by the excellent performance of the Comilog, manganese production has been steadily increasing in recent years. As enlightened in the economic scoreboard, the economy grew by an average of 23% between 2016 and 2018. Boosted by the historic level reached by global carbon steel production, its main outlet reaching 1.8 million tons in 2018, manganese production increased from 3.5 million tons in 2016 to 4.9 million tons in 2017 and to stabilize at 5.3 million tons in 2018. Export also rose sharply from 3.4 million tons in 2016 to 5 million tons in 2018, as well as the sector's turnover, which doubled in 3 years from 360 to 770 billion CFA over the same period. With increasing forecast, these numbers are expected to increase further in the coming years. The coach of the Gabonese national football team, Patrice Neveu, delivered this list of the 23 internationals that will challenge Burkina Faso and Morocco in the coming days. Confirmation but also surprises in the first list communicated by Neveu, while Gabon must face in October 10th and 15th the Stallions of Bertrand Traoré and the Lions of the Atlas. If Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Mauro Lemina, although wounded, Lloyd Palun, Denis Bouanga or even Bruno Ekolemanga are amongst the team, the new coach of the Gabonese Panthers decided to do without the services of one of the leaders, goalkeeper Didier Vonebang.
I shared a list of the 23 selected players, plus one player on the waiting list. Didier Ovono has the desire to bounce back in a club. He does not want to end his international career. He's had contract with the club, but nothing official. I told him yesterday, with the respect he deserves, that he will not be selected. So we hope to have him back when he's in the club, training and competing, because he gave a lot to our national team.
Disciplinary measures were also evoked by the coach, stating clearly his view on the direction he intends to take with the group. There are high expectations from the Gabonese supporters upon the French coach and his staff, as they are preparing for these two matches that will set the tone before the anticipated match with the Democratic Republic of Congo in the qualifiers of the African Cup of Nations 2021. The country's Prime Minister Joseph Daon-Gote, who's leading the dialogue process, announced on Thursday that President Paul Biya had ordered for the release of several hundred detainees linked to the separatist crisis.
Only for those who are free today, but for the families who turned up massively here to come and witness the event. I must tell you, at the esplanade outside of this military tribunal, it is total excitement. The Cameroon Renaissance movement are mobilized here to see that those who have been released actually go home free and free human beings at last. CRTV News is from Musa, the Yaoundé military tribunal.
Anna, the outside world looks at Cameroon. For a long time, we were known to be a haven of stability, of peace in Africa. And today, that image has been stained by what has been taking place in the Northwest and the Southwest regions. The kind of brutality which many of you have witnessed through social media and otherwise speaks volumes. This, we believe, is not what the people of those two regions represent. Something happened to them, and we are only too pleased that the President of the Republic, who has not at any point in time not undermined the problem, he's taking it very seriously.
The British Prime Minister said he wanted a looser free trade deal than the one favored by his predecessor Theresa May, and in these circumstances, the proposed backstop is a bridge to nowhere. Writing to European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, Mr. Johnson also said it would be a failure of statecraft for which we would all be responsible if the two sides could not strike a deal before the October 17th European Council meeting. While DUP welcomed the new proposal, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said it's worse than Theresa May deal. I can't say it getting the support that he thinks it will get. Boris Johnson laid the board for the dramatic Brexit endgame tonight after he tabled a final offer and 5-point plan to scrap the backstop with Brussels, and then dramatically moved to suspend Parliament again. The Prime Minister ramped up pressure on the EU by finally sending details of his plan to Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker and challenging him to accept a responsible compromise. However, he made it clear the only alternative to his proposal is no deal. The 5-point plan involves keeping Northern Ireland in the single market when it leaves the EU customs union with the rest of the UK, giving Stormont the right to veto staying in all-island regulatory zone, conducting customs checks away from the border, putting money aside for Belfast and Dublin, and keeping freedom of movement between the UK and Ireland. The MP's proposals for the island of Ireland would effectively create a border in the Irish Sea whereby goods coming into Northern Ireland from Britain are checked and sent back if they do not comply with EU standards. Gold futures on the COMEX division of the New York Mercantile Exchange rose for a second straight session on Wednesday as the precious metal was boosted by declining U.S. equities and weaker greenback. The most active gold contract for December delivery was up $18.9 or 1.27% to close at $1.507.9 per ounce. The US dollar index, which measures the buck against 6 rivals, went down 0.13% to 99 as of 5:30 GMT. Gold usually moves in opposite direction with the US dollar, which means if the dollar goes strong, gold futures will fall as gold, priced in US dollars, becomes expensive for investors using other currencies. When the stock markets were on the rise, investors may stop buying safe haven assets.
Oil prices extended losses on Wednesday as rising U.S. crude oil stockpile fared fears oversupplied and on-base economic data dimmed outlook for energy demand. U.S. crude oil inventories climbed during the week ending September 27, the U.S. Energy Information Administration said in a report on Wednesday. According to the weekly petroleum status report, U.S. commercial crude oil inventories, excluding those in a strategic petroleum reserve, increased by 3.1 million barrels from the previous week, higher than analyst expectations for the increase of 1.6 million barrels. Meanwhile, a slew on a newly released weak data in the world's largest economy waged on the prospect for oil demand. U.S. private sector employment increased by 135,000 jobs in September, a drop from 157,000 in August, according to the monthly ADP National Employment Report released on Wednesday. Economists polled by Econoday had forecast a gain of 152,000. The employment data came one day after figures from the Institute for Supply Management showed U.S. manufacturing PMI fell to 47.8% in September, marking the lowest level since June 2009. Oil prices are finding it virtually impossible to break out of their defensive stance because weak U.S. economic data are fueling renewed concerns about demand, Carsten Fritsch, energy analyst at Customers Bank Research, said in a note. Oprah Winfrey surprised United Negro College fund when she announced she would be donating over $1 million to help students attend college. The former talk show host and OWN television network chief made the surprise announcement Saturday while speaking at Charlotte's 17th annual Maya Angelou Women Who Lead luncheon. United Negro College Fund officials were hoping the luncheon will help to raise $500,000 for deserving area students to attend historical black colleges. At the time of Winfrey's address, a running tally at the event showed that about $1.15 million had been raised, That's when Oprah said she was going to match the total, prompting a standing ovation from the stunning audience.
Some of the biggest names in the sports have commented their legendary status by adding to their career medal haul at the International Association of Athletics Federation World Athletics Championship, Doha 2019. But along with established stars, several new names have emerged from the first 5 days of competition at the Khalifa International Stadium. Having dominated the event on the international circuit over the past 2 years, USA's Noah Lyles became the youngest ever winner of the men's 200 meters at the World Championships, earning his maiden senior global title on Tuesday with a 19.83 run. Earlier that evening, Lyles' teammate and fellow 22-year-old Donovan Brazier broke the championship and North American records to win the 800 meters in 1 minute 42 seconds. The women's 800 meters had a surprise winner in the form of Uganda's Halima Nakayi in 1 minute 58 seconds. Compatriot Winnie Nanyondo, the fourth-place fisher, joined Nakayi on the lap of honor, stopping every now and again to perform a celebratory dance. Other medalists have emerged as a future force too. Ethiopia's 5,000 silver medalist Solomon Barega and Ukraine's high jump runner-up Yaroslava Mahukishi became the first athletes born this century to win senior global medals. The likes of Shelley Ann Fraser-Price and Christian Taylor may have achieved all-time great status here in Doha, but with the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games just 10 months away, there appears to be many up-and-coming athletes also on the brink of superstardom.
Cameroon's government proposes special status for Anglophone regions after the dialogue held on Monday in Yaoundé. Gabonese manager Patrice Neveu delivered the list of the 23 internationals that will be challenging Burkina Faso and Morocco in the coming days. Some of the biggest names in the sports have cemented their legendary status by adding to their career gold medals at the 2019 IAAF World Athletics Championship in Doha. That's the end of our newscast of the day, but keep watching G24 for more information.